We come now to the sixth broadcast in our series of complete performances of the operas of Gilbert and Sullivan. Today's opera is Iolanthe. Arcadian landscape. On the banks of a stream, near a rustic bridge, the fairies hold their revels. But today, as we shall see, all is not well in fairyland.
It's all very well, but since our queen banished Iolanthe, fairy revels have not been what they were.
Iolanthe was the life and soul of fairyland. Why, she wrote all our songs and arranged all our dances. We simply don't enjoy ourselves.
To think that 25 years have elapsed since she was banished. What could she have done to have deserved so terrible a punishment?
Something awful.
Oh,
She married a mortal.
oh, is it injudicious to marry a mortal?
Injudicious? It strikes at the root of the whole fairy system. By our laws, the fairy who marries a mortal dies.
But Iolanthe didn't die.
No! Because your queen, who loved her with a surpassing love, commuted her sentence to penal servitude for life, on condition that she left her husband and never communicated with him again.
That sentence of penal servitude she's now working out, on her head, at the bottom of that stream.
Yes, but when I banished her, I gave her all the pleasant places of the earth to dwell in. I'm sure I never intended that she should go and live at the bottom of a stream. It makes...
Bottom of that stream.
Yes, but when I banished her, I gave her all the pleasant places of the earth to dwell in. I'm sure I never intended that she should go and live at the bottom of a stream. It makes me perfectly wretched to think of the discomfort she must have undergone.
Think of the damp. And her chest was always delicate.
And the frogs.
Oh.
I shall never enjoy any peace of mind until I know why Iolanthe went to live among the frogs.
Then why not summon her and ask her?
Why? Because if I set eyes on her, I should forgive her at once.
Then why not forgive her? 25 years, it's a long time.
Think how we loved her.
Loved her? What was your love to mine? Why, she was invaluable to me. Who taught me to curl myself inside a buttercup? Iolanthe. Who taught me to swing upon a cobweb? Iolanthe. Valuable to me. Who taught me to curl myself inside a buttercup? Iolanthe. Who taught me to swing upon a cobweb? Iolanthe. Who taught me to dive into a dewdrop, to nestle in a nutshell, to gamble upon gossamer? Iolanthe.
She certainly did surprising things.
Oh, give her back to us, great queen, for your sake, if not for ours.
Oh, I should be strong, but I am weak. I should be marble, but I am clay. Her punishment has been heavier than I intended. I did not mean that she should live among the frogs and... Well, it shall be as you wish. It shall be as you wish. And now, tell me, with all the world to choose from, why on earth did you decide to live at the bottom of that stream?
To be near my son, Strephon.
Bless my heart, I didn't know you had a son.
He was born soon after I left my husband, by your royal command. But he does not even know of his father's advantages of being immortal. We never grow old. Is he pretty? He's extremely pretty. Oh. But he's inclined to be stout.
Oh. I see no objection to stoutness, in moderation.
And what is he?
He's an Arcadian shepherd, and he loves Phyllis, a ward in Chancery.
A mere shepherd, and he half a fairy.
He's a fairy down to the waist, but his legs are mortal.
Dear.
I have no reason to suppose that I am more curious than other people, but I confess I should like to see a person who is a fairy down to the waist, but whose legs are mortal.
Nothing easier, for here he comes.
Good morrow, good mother, good mother, good morrow. By some means or other, pray banish your sorrow. Good mother, good morrow. By some means or other, pray banish your sorrow. With joy beyond telling, my bosom is swelling, so join in a measure expressive of pleasure, for I'm to be married today, today. Yes, I'm to be married today.
Yes, he's to be married today, today. Yes, he's to be married today. Then the Lord Chancellor has at last given his consent to your marriage with his beautiful ward Phyllis?
Not he, indeed. To all my tearful prayers he answers me, a shepherd lad is no fit helpmate for a ward of Chancery. I stood in court, and there I sang him songs of Arcady with flageolet accompaniment in vain. At first he seemed amused, so did the bar, but quickly wearying of my song and pipe, bade me get out. A servile usher then, in crumpled bands and rusty bombazine, led me, still singing, into Chancery Lane. I'll go no more. I'll marry her today and brave the upshot, be it what it may.
Well.
But who are these?
Oh, Strephon, rejoice with me. My queen has pardoned me.
Pardoned you, mother. This is good news indeed.
And these ladies are my beloved sisters.
Your sisters? Then they are my aunts.
A pleasant piece of news for your bride on her wedding day.
Hush, my bride knows nothing of my fairyhood. I dare not tell her, lest it frighten her. She thinks me mortal and prefers me so.
Your fairyhood doesn't seem to have done you much good.
Much good? My dear aunt, it's the curse of my existence. What's the use of being half a fairy? My body can creep through a keyhole. But what's the good of that when my legs are left kicking behind? I can make myself but that's of no use when my legs remain exposed to view. My brain is a fairy brain, but from the waist downwards I'm a gibbering idiot. My upper half is immortal, but my lower half grows older every day, and some day or other must die of old age. What's to become of my upper half when I've buried my lower half, I really don't know.
Poor Strephon.
I see your difficulty. But with a fairy brain, you should seek an intellectual sphere of action. Let me see. I've a borough or two at my disposal. Would you like to go into Parliament?
A fairy member? That would be delightful.
I'm afraid I should do no good there. You see, down to the waist I'm a Tory of the most determined description. But my legs are a couple of confounded radicals. And on a division, they'd be sure to take me into the wrong lobby. You see, they are 2 to 1, which is a strong working majority. You see, down to the waist, I'm a Tory of the most determined description. But my legs are a couple of confounded radicals. And on a division, they'd be sure to take me into the wrong lobby. You see, they are 2 to 1, which is a strong working majority.
Oh, don't let that distress you. You shall be returned as a liberal conservative, and your legs shall be our peculiar care.
I see your majesty does not do things by halves.
No, we are fairies down to the feet.
making way to another fairy.
Strephon is alone, but not for long, for Phyllis, accompanying herself on the flageolet, comes to join him.
Good morrow, good lover, good morrow. I prithee thee be married today, today. Yes, we're to be married today.
Yes, we're to be married today, today. Yes, we're to be married today.
My Phyllis, and today we are to be made happy forever.
Well, we're to be married.
It's the same thing.
I suppose it is. But, oh, Strephon, I tremble at the step I'm taking. I believe it's penal servitude for life to marry a ward of court without the Lord Chancellor's consent. I shall be of age in 2 years. Don't you think you could wait 2 years?
2 years? Have you ever looked in the glass?
No, never.
Here, look at that, and tell me if you think it rational to expect me to wait 2 years.
No, you are quite right. It's asking too much. One must be reasonable.
Besides, who knows what will happen in 2 years? Why, you might fall in love.
Only attentive.
Attentive, I should think they were. Why did 25 Liberal peers come down to shoot over your grass plot last autumn?
Well,
It couldn't have been the sparrows. Why did 25 Conservative peers come down to fish your pond?
But they...
Don't tell me it was the goldfish. No, no, delays are dangerous. And if we are to marry, the sooner the better.
shall part us from each other. One in life and death are we, all in all to one another. I to thee and thou to me, all in all to one another. I to thee and thou to me. Thou the tree and I the flower. Thou the idol, I the throng. I the day and thou the hour. I the singer.
All in all, since that fond meeting, I the throng, I the day, and thou the hour. I the singer, the song. All in all, since that fond meeting, when in joy I woke to find mine the heart within thee beating, mine the love that heart enshrined, mine the heart within thee beating, mine the love, the will, I the sculptor,
I the
clay, I the ocean, thou the billow, I the sunrise, I
Our theme today is the conflict between Fairyland and the House of Lords. And here come their noble lordships in full regalia.
the true embodiment of everything that's excellent. It has no kind of fault or flaw, and I, my lords, embody the law. The constitutional guardian I of pretty young wards in Chancery, all very agreeable girls, and none are over the age of 21. A pleasant occupation for a rather susceptible chancellor.
A pleasant occupation for...
Pride inflates me with legitimate pride. It nevertheless can't be denied that it has its inconvenient side. For I'm not so old and not so plain, and I'm quite prepared to marry again. But it be that used to pain the lords if I fell in love with one of my wards. Which rather tries my temper, for I'm such a susceptible chancellor.
Which rather tries his temper, for he's such a susceptible chancellor.
And everyone who'd marry a ward must come to me for my accord, and in my court I sit all day, giving agreeable girls away. With one for him, and one for he, and one for you, and one for ye, and one for thou, and one for thee. But never susceptible chancellor,
Which is exasperating for a highly susceptible chancellor.
And now, my lords, to the business of the day.
By all means. Phyllis, who is a ward of court, has so powerfully affected your lordships that you have appealed to me in a body to give her to whichever one of you she may think proper to select. And a noble lord has just gone to her cottage to request her immediate attendance. It would be idle to deny that I myself have the misfortune to be singularly attracted by this young person. My regard for her is rapidly undermining my constitution. 3 months ago, I was a stout man. I need say no more. If I could reconcile it with my duty. 3 months ago, I was a stout man. I need say no more. If I could reconcile it with my duty, I should unhesitatingly award her to myself, for I can conscientiously say that I know no man who is so well fitted to render her exceptionally happy. But such an award would be open to misconstruction, and therefore at whatever personal inconvenience I waive my claim.
My lord, I desire on the part of this house to express its sincere sympathy with your lordship's most painful position.
I thank your lordships. The feelings of a Lord Chancellor who is in love with a ward of court are not to be envied. What is his position? Can he give his own consent to his own marriage with his own ward? Can he marry his own ward without his own consent? And if he marries his own ward's own consent, can he commit himself for contempt of his own court? And if he commit himself for contempt of his own court, can he appear by counsel before himself to move for arrest of his own judgment? Ah, my lords, it is indeed painful to have to sit upon a woolsack which is stuffed with such thorns as these.
My lords, I have much pleasure in announcing that I have succeeded in inducing the young person to present herself at the bar of this house.
My well-loved lord and guardian dear, you summoned me and I am here.
Oh, rapture, how gentle, how dutiful. Of all the young ladies I know, this pretty young lady's the fairest. Her lips have the rosiest show. Her eyes are the richest and rarest, her origins lowly, it's true, but the birth and position I've plenty, I've grammar and spelling for 2, and blood and behaviour for 20. Her origins lowly, it's true, I've grammar and spelling for 2, of birth and position I've plenty, with blood and behaviour for 20. Of birth and position I've plenty, with grammar and spelling for 2. Of birth and position I've plenty, with blood and behaviour for 20. Of birth and position I've plenty, with blood and behaviour for 20. Though the views of the House have diverged on every conceivable motion, all questions of party are merged in a frenzy of love and devotion. If you ask us distinctly to say what party we claim to belong to, we reply without doubt or delay, the party we're singing this song to. If you ask us distinctly to say, we reply without doubt or delay, the party we're singing this song to. If you ask us distinctly to say, we reply without doubt or delay, the party we claim to belong to is the party we're singing this song to. The party we claim to belong to is the party we're singing this song to.
I'm very much pained to refuse, but I'll stick to my pipes and my tables. I can spell all the words that I use, and my grammar's as good as my neighbour's. As for birth, I was born like the rest. My behaviour is rustic but hearty, and I know where to turn. Though my station is none of the best, I suppose I was born like the rest. I know where to look for a party when I want a particular party. I know where to search for a party whenever I want a
To look for her party.
Nay, tempt me not to wealth, I'll not be bound. In the lowly cot alone is virtue found.
No, indeed, high rank will never hurt you. The peerage is not destitute of virtue. Spurn not the nobly born with love affected, nor treat with virtuous scorn the well-connected. High rank involves no shame, we boast an equal claim with him of humble name to be respected. Blue blood from the flood, blue blood, blue blood. When virtuous love is sought, like power is lost, no dating from the flood to blood, of blue blood. Spare us the bitter the pain of stern denials, nor with low-born disdain augment our trials. Hearts just as pure and fair may beat in Belgrave Square as in the lonely air of Seven Dials. Blue blood, of what availeth thou to serve us now, though days dared to brave a high displeasure, and thus defy.
My lords, it may not be, with grief my heart is riven. You waste your time on me, for my heart is given.
Given?
Yes, given.
And who has dared to brave a high displeasure, and thus defy our definite command? 'Tis I, young Strephon, mine this priceless treasure. Against the world, I claim my darling's hand. A shepherd I, a shepherd he, of Arcady, betrothed are we, betrothed are they, and mean to be espoused today. A shepherd he, of Arcady, a shepherd he, of Arcady, betrothed are they, and mean to be espoused today. Leave this blow, worth the stab and dagger, though we'll momentarily stagger. In each heart, proud are we innately, let's depart, dignified and stately. Let's depart, dignified and stately, 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 dignified and stately. No, sir. What excuse have you to offer for having disobeyed an order of the Court of Chancery? The brooks, the gales, the vales, the fountains and the mountains cry, you love this maiden, take her, we command you. 'Tis writ in heaven by the bright barbed dart that leaps forth into lurid light from each grim thundercloud. The very rain pours forth her sad and sodden sympathy. When chorus nature bids me take my love, shall I reply, nay, but a certain chancellor forbids it? Sir, you are England's Lord High Chancellor, but are you Chancellor of birds and trees, King of the winds and Prince of thunderclouds?
No. It's a nice point. I don't know that I ever met it before. But my difficulty is that at present there is no evidence before the court that chorus nature has interested herself in the matter.
No evidence? You have my word for it. I tell you that she bade me take my love.
But my good sir, you would meet with all the attention they deserve.
And have you the heart to apply the prosaic rules of evidence to a case which bubbles over with poetical emotion?
Distinctly. I have always kept my duty strictly before my eyes, and it is to that fact that I owe my advancement to my present distinguished position. When I went to the bar as a very young man, said I to myself, said I, I'll work on a new and original plan, said I to myself, said I. I'll never assume that a rogue or a thief is a gentleman worthy implicit belief, because his attorney has sent me a brief, said I to myself, said I. Ere I go into court, I will read my brief through, said I to myself, said I, and said I. Ere I go into court, I will read my brief through, said I to myself, said I, and I'll never take work I'm unable to do, said I to myself, said I. My learned profession I'll never disgrace by taking a fee with a grin on my face when I haven't been there to attend to the case, said I to myself, said I. I'll never throw dust in a juryman's eyes, said I to myself, said I, or hoodwink a judge who is not overwise, said I to myself, said I, or assume that the witnesses summoned in force in Exchequer, Queen's Bench, Common Pleas or Divorce have perjured themselves as a matter of course, said I to myself, said I. The army, the navy, the church and the stage, said I to myself, said I. Professional license, if carried too far, your chance of promotion will certainly mar, and I fancy the rule might apply to the bar, said I to myself, said I.
Oh, Phyllis, Phyllis, to be taken from you just as I was on the point of making you my own. Oh, it's too much. It's too much.
My son in tears, and on his wedding day.
My wedding day? Oh, Mother, weep with me, for the law has interposed between us, and the Lord Chancellor has separated us forever.
The Lord Chancellor? Oh, if he did but know.
If he did but know what?
No matter. The Lord Chancellor has no power over you. Remember, you are half a fairy. You can defy him, down to the waist.
Yes, but from the waist downwards he can commit me to prison for years. Of what avail is it that my body is free if my legs are working out 7 years penal servitude?
True, but take heart. Our Queen has promised you her special protection. I'll go to her and lay your peculiar case before her.
My beloved mother, how can I repay the debt I owe you?
The peers approach on tiptoe, bringing Phyllis with them. They listen unobserved to the conversation between Strephon and his mother.
When darkly looms the day, when darkly looms the day, and all is dull and grey, to chase the gloom away, on thee I'll call. I think I heard him say that on a rainy day, to while the time away on her he'd call. We think we heard him say that on a rainy day, to while the time away on her he'd call.
Tempest to wreck thy bark, and all is drear and dark. If thou shouldst need an ark, I'll give thee.
We heard the minx remark, she beat him after dark, in St. James's Park, and give him one. The prospect's not so bad, my heart's so sore and sad, we'll very soon be glad as summer's sun. Oh, when the sky is dark, and tempest wreck lies bark, if he should need an ark, she'll give him one. Give him one. Attend to me kindly, this lady's my mother.
This lady's is what?
This lady's my mother.
This lady's is what?
He says she's his mother.
What means this mirth unseemly that shakes the listening earth?
The joke is good extremely and justifies our mirth. This gentleman is seen with a maid of 17, a-digging of his dolce far niente. And wonders he'd achieve, for he asks us to believe she's his mother and he's nearly 25.
And be careful what you say, as the ancient Romans said, festina lente. For I really do not see how so young a girl can be the mother of a man of 25.
My lord, of evidence I have no dearth. She has been my mother from my birth. In babyhood upon her lap I lay, with infant food she moistened my clay. Had she withheld the succor she supplied, by hunger quelled, your Strephon might have.
Indeed, our Strephon might have died.
Had that refreshment been denied, indeed our Strephon might have died. But as she's not his mother, it appears, why weep these hot, unnecessary tears? And by what laws should we so joyously rejoice, because our Strephon did not die? Oh, rather let us pipe our eyes, because our Strephon did not die. That's very true.
Traitorous one, forever we must part. To one of you, my lords, I give my heart.
Oh, rapture, hear me, Phyllis. Oh, rapture,
come true, will say, as sorrowful hearts are wont to do. The riches and rank that you behold are the only baits you use. So the riches and rankiest of you my sorrowful heart shall choose. As none are so noble, none so rich as this couple of thoughts, I find the rich in my heart for one of you two, and I full heart shall choose. As none are so noble, none so rich as this couple of thoughts, I find the rich in my heart for one of you two, and I don't care which. To you I give my heart so rich, I do not care. To you I yield, it is my doom. I'm not aware I'm yours for life if you but choose. That's your affair. I'll be a competition, I not. I do not care. Your affair. I'll be a competition, I not. I do not care.
Can I, inactive, see my fortunes fade? No, 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 no. Mighty protectress, hasten to my aid. The lady of my love has caught me talking to another.
Oh, fine, your servant is a rogue.
I tell her very plainly that the lady is my mother.
Taladiddle, tollolay.
She won't believe my statement and declares we must be parted, because on a career of double dealing I have started, then gives her hand to one of these and leaves me broken-hearted.
Taladiddle, tollolay.
A cruel one to separate two lovers from each other.
Oh, fine, your servant's on the road.
You've done him an injustice, for the lady is his mother.
Taladiddle, tollolay.
The faithful prep me serve his turn as well as any other. I didn't see her face, but if they fondled one another, and she's but 17, I don't believe it was his mother. Taradiddle, taradiddle.
Tollolay.
I have
For she is 17 and he is only 5 and 20. Oh, fine, your servant is a rogue.
Now listen, pray to me, for this paradox will be carried nobody or talk unto the 20. Her age upon the date of his birth was -8. If she's 17 and he is 5 and 20.
If she is 17 and he is only 5 and 20. She's not a little, not a little folly. Oh, fine, our servant is a rogue. Perhaps he's brainy shadowed and he's turning melancholy. Taladiddle, tollolay. I wouldn't say a word that could be reckoned as injurious, but to find a mother younger than the son is very curious. And that's the kind of mother that is usually very spurious. Taladiddle, tollolay.
Go away, madam, I should say, madam, you display, madam, shocking taste. It is rude, madam, to intrude, madam, with your brood, madam, brazen-faced. You come here, madam, interfere, madam, with a peer, madam. I am one. You're aware, madam, I should say, madam, you display, madam, shocking taste. It is rude, madam, to intrude, madam, with your brood, madam, brazen faced. You come here, madam, interfere, madam, with a peer, madam, I am one. You're aware, madam, what you dare, madam, so take care, madam, and be gone.
Let us stay, madam, I shall say, madam, let us play, madam, shocking taste. It is rude, madam, to allude, madam, to your brood, madam, brazen faced. With your fear, madam, any fear, madam, oh my dear, madam, this is one. They will stare, madam, when aware, madam, what they dare, madam, what they've done.
Bearded by these puny mortals, I will launch from fairy pot all the most terrific thunders in my armory of wonders. Should they launch terrific wonders, all would then repent their blunders. Should they wonders, all the most terrific wonders in my respectful speech, your attitude to vary, your body not so airy, your manner arbitrary, are out of place when face to face with an influence, when face to face with an influential fairy.
We were talking to an influential fairy.
A plague on this vagary, I'm in a nice quandary of hasty tone with dames unknown. I ought to be more chary. It seems that she's a fairy from Anderson's library, and I took her for the proprietor of a ladies' seminary.
We took her for the proprietor of a ladies' seminary.
As we speak it, and he shall wreak it. Oh! Eaten low, into Parliament you shall go.
Into Parliament he shall go, and by the supreme authority he'll command a large majority. Into Parliament, Parliament he shall go. Into Parliament he shall go. Into Parliament, Parliament he shall go. Into Parliament he shall go.
In the parliamentary hive, liberals or conservative, Whig or Tory, I don't know, but into Parliament you shall go.
Into Parliament he shall go, and by the supreme authority he'll command a large majority. Into Parliament, Parliament he shall go. Into Parliament he shall go. Into Parliament he shall go. Into Parliament he shall go.
Every bill and every measure that may gratify
Shall go
shall be passed by both your houses. You shall sit, if he sees reason, through the grouse and salmon season. He shall end the cherished rites you enjoy on Friday nights. He shall prick that annual blister, marriage with deceased wife's sister. Titles shall ennoble then all the common councilmen. Peers shall be attainable by competitive examination.
We move now to Westminster, to Palace Yard to be precise. Here in the moonlight we find Private Willis, whiling away the long hours of his sentry duty with philosophical ruminations.
brains, that is, assuming that he's got any. Though never nurtured in the lap of luxury, yet I admonish you, I am an intellectual chap, and pen that every boy and every gal that's born into the world alive is either a little liberal or else a little conservative. Or else a little conservative, liberal, or else a little conservative.
Annoyed? I should think so. Why, this ridiculous protégé of yours is playing the deuce with everything. Tonight is the second reading of his bill to throw the peerage open to competitive examination.
And he'll carry it, too.
Carry it? Of course he will. He's a parliamentary, throw the peerage open to competitive examination.
And he'll carry it, too.
Carry it? Of course he will. He's a parliamentary Pickford. He carries everything.
Yes, if you please. That's our fault.
Oh, the deuce it is.
Yes, we influence the members and compel them to vote just as he wishes them to.
It's our system. It shortens the debates.
Well, but think what it all means. I don't so much mind for myself. But with a House of Peers with no grandfathers worth mentioning, the country must go to the dogs.
I suppose it must.
I don't want to say a word against brains. I've great respect for brains. I often wish I had some myself. But with a House of Peers composed exclusively of people of intellect, what's to become of the House of Commons?
I never thought of that.
This comes of women interfering in politics. It so happens that if there is an institution in Great Britain which is not susceptible of any improvement at all, it is...
I never thought of that.
This comes of women interfering in politics. It so happens that if there is an institution in Great Britain which is not susceptible of any improvement at all, it is the House of Peers.
In good Queen Bess's time, the House of Peers made no pretence to intellectual eminence or scholarship sublime. Yet Britain won her proudest base in gold. Yet Britain won her proudest base in good Queen Bess's glorious days. Yet Britain won her proudest base in good Queen Bess's glorious days. Thrashed Bonaparte, as every child can tell. The House of Peers throughout the war did nothing in particular, and did it well. On King George's glorious days, yet Britain set the world ablaze in good King George's glorious days. Yes, Britain set the world ablaze in good King George's glorious days. And while the House of Peers withholds its legislative hand, and noble statesmen do not itch to interfere with matters which they do not understand, as bright will shine Great Britain's ray, will shine
In persons Are they not?
Distinctly. For self-contained dignity combined with airy condescension, give me a British representative peer.
Then pray stop this protégé of yours before it's too late. Think of the mischief you're doing.
But we can't stop him now. Aren't they lovely? Oh, why did you go and defy us? Aren't they lovely? Oh, why did you go and defy us, you great geese?
In vain to us you plead, don't go. Your prayers we do not heed, don't go. It's true we sigh, but don't suppose a tearful eye forgiveness shows. Oh no, we're very cross indeed, yes, very cross. Don't go.
It's true we sigh, but don't suppose a tearful eye forgiveness shows. Oh no, we're very cross indeed, yes, very cross. Don't go.
Your disrespectful sneers, don't go. Call forth indignant tears, don't go. You break our laws, you are our foe. We cry because we hate you so. You know, you very wicked peers, you wicked peers, don't go.
You break our laws, you are our foe. We cry because we hate you so. You know, you very wicked peers, you wicked peers. Don't go.
Our disrespectful sneers, ha ha, call forth indignant tears, ha ha. If that's the case, my
Fidelity to the laws you are bound to obey. Know ye not that it is death to marry a mortal?
Yes, but it's not death to wish to marry a mortal.
If it were, you'd have to execute us all.
Oh, this is weakness. Subdue it.
We know it's weakness, but the weakness is so strong.
We are not all as tough as you are.
Tough? Do you suppose that I am insensible to the effect of manly beauty? Look at that man, that sentry, a perfect picture. Who are you, sir?
Private Willis, B Company, 1st Grenadier Guards.
You're a very fine fellow, sir.
I am generally admired.
I can quite understand it. Now here is a man whose physical attributes are simply God-man. But I mortify this inclination. I wrestle with it, and it lies beneath my feet. That is how I treat my regard for that man.
Think you because his bravery my bosom thoughts I'd disobey our very laws, because I fly in realms above in tendency to fall in love, resemble I the amorous dove. Oh, foolish fay, think you because his bravery my bosom thoughts I'd disobey our very laws, because I fly in realms above in tendency to fall in love, resemble I the amorous dove, resemble
right and the halls of common sense, and out it goes at small expense. We Captain Shaw, in that we gain at Captain Shaw. Oh, Captain Shaw, time of true love kept under. Could thy brigade with cold cascade quench my great love, I wonder? Oh, Captain Shaw, time of true love kept under. Could thy brigade with cold cascade quench my great love, I wonder.
I can't think why I'm not in better spirits. I'm engaged to 2 noblemen at once. That ought to be enough to make any girl happy. But I'm miserable. Don't suppose it's because I care for Strephon, for I hate him. No girl could care for a man who goes about with a mother considerably younger than himself.
Phyllis, my darling.
Phyllis, my own.
Don't! How dare you? Oh, but perhaps you're the 2 noblemen I'm engaged to.
I am one of them.
I am the other.
Oh, then, my darling, my own. Well, have you settled which it's to be?
Not altogether. It's a difficult position. It would be hardly delicate to toss up. On the whole, we would rather leave it to you.
How can it possibly concern?
Well, perhaps you are.
There's really nothing to choose between you. If one of you would forgo his title and distribute his estates among his Irish tenantry, why, then I should see a reason for accepting the other.
Talala, are you prepared to make the sacrifice?
No.
Not even to oblige a lady?
No, not even to oblige a lady.
Then the only question is, which of us shall give way to the other? Perhaps, on the whole, she would be happier with me. I don't know. I may be wrong.
No, I don't know that you are. I really believe she would. But the awkward part of the thing is that if you rob me of the girl of my heart, we must fight, and one of us must die. It's a family tradition that I have sworn to respect. It's a painful position, for I have a very strong regard for you. George.
My dear Thomas.
You are very dear to me, George. We were boys together. At least I was. If I were to survive you, my...
Thomas.
You are very dear to me, George. We were boys together. At least I was. If I were to survive you, my existence would be hopelessly embittered.
Then, my dear Thomas, you must not do it. I say it again and again. If it will have this effect upon you, you must not do it. No. No. If one of us is to destroy the other, let it be me.
No. No.
Ah, yes. By our boyish friendship, I implore you.
Well, be it so. But no, I cannot consent to an act which would crush you with unavailing remorse.
But it would not do so. I should be very sad at first. Oh, who would not be? But it would wear off. I like you very much, but not perhaps as much as you like me.
George, you're a noble fellow, but that telltale tear betrays you. No, George, you are very fond of me, and I cannot consent to give you a weak son.
But not perhaps as much as you like me.
George, you're a noble fellow, but that telltale tear betrays you. No, George, you are very fond of me, and I cannot consent to give you a week's uneasiness on my account.
But, dear Thomas, it would not last a week. Remember, you lead the House of Lords. On your demise, I shall take your place. Oh, Thomas, it would not last a day.
Now, I do hope you're not going to fight about me, because it's really not worthwhile.
Well, I don't believe it is.
Nor I. The sacred ties of friendship are paramount.
Though perhaps I may incur your blame, the things are few I would not do in friendship's name.
And I may say I think the same. Not even love should rank above true friendship's name. Rank above true friendship's name.
Then pray me, mine the blame. Forget your grace and go your ways in friendship's name. In friendship's name.
Oh, many a man in friendship's name has yielded fortune, rank, and fame, but no one yet in the world so wide has yielded up a promised bride. Accept, old friendship, all the same. This name. Accept this sacrifice to thy
Love unrequited robs me of my rest. Love, hopeless love, my ardent soul encumbers. Love, nightmare-like, lies heavy on my chest, and weaves itself into my midnight slumbers. When you're lying awake with a dismal headache and repose is tabooed by anxiety, I conceive you may use any language you choose to indulge in without impropriety. For your brain is on fire, the bedclothes conspire, of usually sharp is the pricking, and you're hot and you're cross and you tumble and toss till that nothing twixt you and the ticking. Then the bedclothes all creep to the ground in a heap and you pick 'em all up in a tangle. Next your pillow resigns and politely declines to remain at its usual angle. Well, you get some repose in the form of a doze, what had eyeballs and head ever aching, but your slumbering changes such horrible dreams that you'd very much better be waking. For you dream you are crossing the channel and tossing about in a steamer from Harwich, which is something between a large bathing machine and a very small second-class carriage, and you're giving a treat, penny ice and cold meat, to a party of friends and relations. They're a ravenous horde, and they all came on board at Sloane Square and South Kensington stations, and bound on that journey you find your attorney, who started that morning from Devon. He's a bit undersized, and you don't feel surprised when he tells you he's only 11. Well, you're driving like mad with this singular lad. By the by, the ship's now a four-wheeler, and you're playing round games, and he calls you bad names when you tell him the ties pay the dealer. Well, this you can't stand, you throw up your hand, and you find you're as cold as an icicle. In your shirt and your socks, the black silk we go clocks crossing swords, but he playing a number of devices to get at low prices, all goods and cotton kisses to cables, which tickled the sailors by cheating retailers as though they were all vegetables. You get a good spade and to plant a small trace, and first take off his boots with a boot tree, and his legs will take root and his fingers will shoot, and they'll blossom and bud like a fruit tree. From the green gosh you get grapes and green pea, cauliflower, pineapple and cranberries, while the patient could plant cherry brandy, will plant apple puffs and three corners and bamberries. The shares are a penny, and ever so many are taken by Rothschild and Baring, and just as a few are allotted to you, you awake with a shudder despairing. You're a regular wreck with a crick in your neck, and no wonder you snore, for your head's on the floor, and your needles and pins for your soles, your singeing the flesh, your creep, your left leg sleeping, your cramming the toes, and the flying in it, so fluffing your lung, and a feverish tongue, and a thirst intense, in a general sense, you haven't been sleeping in clover. But the darkness is past, and it's day night at last, and the night has been long. Ditto, ditto, my song. And thank goodness they're both of them.
We are much distressed to see your lordship in this condition.
My lords, it is seldom that a Lord Chancellor has reason to envy the position of another, but I am free to confess that I would rather be 2 earls engaged to Phyllis than any other half-dozen noblemen upon the face of the globe.
Yes, it's an enviable position when you're the only one.
Oh, yes, no doubt, most enviable. At the same time, seeing you with us, we naturally say to ourselves, this is very sad. His lordship is constitutionally as blithe as a bird. He trills upon the bench like a thing of song and gladness. His series of judgments in F-sharp minor, given andante in 6/8 time, are among the most remarkable effects ever produced in a court of chancery. He is, perhaps, the only living instance of a judge of one of its most attractive features.
I feel the force of your remarks, but I am here in 2 capacities, and they clash, my lords, they clash. I deeply grieve to say that in declining to entertain my last application to myself, I presume to address myself in terms which render it impossible for me ever to apply to myself again. A most painful scene, my lords, most painful.
This is what it is to have 2 capacities. Let us be thankful that we are persons of no capacity whatever.
Come, come. Remember, you are a very just and kindly old gentleman, and you need have no hesitation in approaching yourself so that you do so respectfully and with a proper show of deference.
Do you really think so?
I do.
Well, I will nerve myself to another effort, and if that fails, I resign myself to my fate. Painful scene, my lords, most painful.
This is what it is to have 2 capacities. Let us be thankful that we are persons of no capacity whatever.
Come, come. Remember, you are a very just and kindly old gentleman, and you need have no hesitation in approaching yourself so that you do so respectfully and with a proper show of deference.
Do you really think so?
I do.
Well, I will nerve myself to another effort, and if that fails, I resign myself to my fate.
If you go in, you're sure to win. Yours will be the charming maid. Be your law, the ancient saw. Faint heart never won, fair lady. Never, never, never. Faint heart never won, fair lady. Every journey has an end. When at the worst affairs will mend. Dark or dawn when day is nigh, hustle your horse and don't say die. He who shies at such a prize is not worth a maravedi. Be so kind to bear in mind, faint hearts never won fair lady. Never, 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 faint heart never won fair lady. While the sun shines, make your hay. Where a will is, there's a way. Bear the lion in his lair. None but the brave deserve the fair. Never one fair lady. Never, never, never. Faint heart never one fair lady. Nothing venture, nothing win. Blood is thick, but water's thin. In for a penny, in for a pound, it's love that makes the world go round. Nothing venture, nothing win. Blood is thick, but water's thin. In for a penny, in for a pound, it's love that makes the world go round.
I suppose one ought to enjoy oneself in Parliament when one leads both parties, as I do. But I'm miserable, poor, broken-hearted Phyllis. But I suppose I should say, my lady. I have not yet been informed which title your ladyship has pleased to select.
I haven't quite decided. You see, I have no mother to advise me.
No, I have.
Yes, a young mother.
Not very. A couple of centuries or so.
Oh, she wears well.
She does. She's a fairy.
I beg your pardon? Of what?
Oh, I have no longer any reason to conceal the fact. She's a fairy.
A fairy? Well, but that would account for a good many things. Then I suppose you're a fairy.
I'm half a fairy.
Which half?
The upper half, down to the waistcoat.
Dear me, there's nothing to show it.
Oh, don't do that.
Well, why didn't you tell me this before?
I thought you would take a dislike to me. But as it's all off, you may as well know the truth. I'm only half a mortal.
Well, I'd rather have half a mortal I do love than half a dozen.
Do that.
Well, why didn't you tell me this before?
I thought you would take a dislike to me. But as it's all off, you may as well know the truth. I'm only half a mortal.
Well, I'd rather have half a mortal I do love than half a dozen I don't.
Oh, I think not. Go to your half dozen.
It's only 2, and I hate 'em. Please forgive me.
I don't think I ought to. Besides, all sorts of difficulties will arise. You know, my grandmother looks quite as young as my mother. So do all my aunts.
I quite understand. Whenever I see you kissing a very young lady, I shall know it's an elderly relative.
You will? Then, Phyllis, I think we shall be very happy.
We won't wait long.
No, we might change our minds. We'll get married first.
And change our minds afterwards?
That's the usual course.
If we're weak enough to tarry ere we marry, you and I, of the feeling I inspire, you may tire by and by.
Marry you and I, with the more attractive maiden to a laden you may fly. If by chance we should be parted, broken-hearted I should die. So I think we will not tarry ere we marry you and I. If we're weak enough to tarry ere we marry you and I, with the more attractive maiden to a laden you may fly.
Of the feeling I inspire, you may tire by and by.
If we're weak enough to tarry ere we marry you and I,
Of the feeling I inspire, you may tire by and by.
so I think
We will not tarry ere we marry, you and I, you and I, you and I.
But does your mother know you're... I mean, is she aware of our engagement?
She is, and thus she welcomes her daughter-in-law.
She kisses just like other people. But the Lord Chancellor...
I forgot him. Mother, none can resist your fairy eloquence. You will go to him and plead for us.
No, impossible.
But our happiness, our very lives depend upon our obtaining his consent.
Oh, madam, you cannot refuse to do this.
You know not what you ask. The Lord Chancellor is... my husband.
Your husband?
My husband. And your father.
My father?
Then our course is plain. On his learning that Strephon is his son, all objection to our marriage will be at once removed.
No, he must never know. He believes me to have died childless. And dearly as I love him, I am bound under penalty of death not to undeceive him. But see, he comes.
Oh!
Quick, my veil.
Yes, quickly.
Victory! Victory! Success has crowned my efforts, and I may consider myself engaged to Phyllis. At first, I wouldn't hear of it. It was out of the question. But I took heart. I pointed out to myself that I was no stranger to myself, that in point of fact I had been personally acquainted with myself for some years. This had its effect. I admitted that I had watched my professional advancement with considerable interest, and I handsomely added that I yielded to no one in admiration for my private and professional virtues. This was a conceive my joy when I distinctly perceived a tear glistening in my own eye. Eventually, after a severe struggle with myself, I reluctantly, most reluctantly, consented.
My lord, a suppliant at your feet I kneel. Oh, listen to our mother's fond appeal. Hear me tonight. I come in urgent need. Hear me tonight. I come in urgent need. 'Tis for my son, young Strephon, that I plead. He loves, if in the bygone years thine eyes have ever shed tears, bitter unavailing tears for one untimely dead. If in the eventide, then let the memory of thy wife plead for my boy. He dies. He dies, if fondly laid aside in some old cabinet. Memorials of thy long dead bride lie, dearly treasured yet. Then let her hallowed bridal dress, her faded tress, plead for my boy.
It may not be, for so the fates decide. Learn thou that Phyllis is my promised bride.
Thy bride! No, no.
It shall be so. Those who would separate us woe betide.
My doom thy lips have spoken, I plead in vain. For him, for her, for thee, I yield my life. Behold, it may not be. Once again thy vows are broken, thou thyself thy doom hast spoken.
Hold! If Iolanthe must die, so must we all. For as she has sinned, so have we.
What? We are all fairy duchesses, marchionesses, countesses, viscountesses, and baronesses.
It's our fault. They couldn't help themselves. It seems they have helped themselves, and pretty freely, too. You have all incurred death, but I can't slaughter the whole company. And yet...
Make a suggestion. The subtleties of the legal mind are equal to the emergency. The thing is really quite simple. The insertion of a single word will do it. Let it stand that every fairy shall die who don't marry a mortal. And there you are, out of your difficulty at once.
We like your humour. Very well. Private Willis!
Mum?
To save my life, it is necessary that I marry at once. How should you like to be a fairy guardsman?
Well, Mum, I don't think much of the British soldier who wouldn't ill-convenience himself to save a female in distress.
You are a brave fellow. You are a fairy from this moment.
Oh!
And you, my lord, you join our ranks.
Well, now that the peers are to be recruited entirely from persons of intelligence, I really don't see what use we are down here. Do you, Talala?
None whatever.
Good! Then away we go to fairyland!
Soon as we may, off and away, we'll commence our journey airy. Happy are we, as you can see, everyone is now a fairy. Everyone is now a fairy. There's a general rule we know, 2 strings go to every bow. Make up your minds that it will bring, if you 2 bows to every string. There's a general 2 strings go to every bow. Make up your minds that it will bring, if you 2 bows to every string. There's a general rule we know, 2 strings go to every bow. Make up your minds that it will bring, if you 2 bows to every string.
Up in the sky, ever so high, pleasures come in endless series. We will arrange happy exchange, house of peers for house of peers. Peers, house of peers for house of peers. Up in the air, sky high, free from wants in chance awry. We will be sure they're happier for such a success. He's such a susceptible trunk.
In that performance of Iolanthe by W.S. Gilbert and Arthur Sullivan, you heard Peter Pratt as the Lord Chancellor. The Earl of Mount Ararat was sung by Donald Frankie and spoken by Derek Birch. Earl Tololla was played by Andrew Downey. Private Willis was played by Owen Brannigan. Strephon was played by Dennis Quilley. The Queen of the Fairies was sung by Janet Costa and spoken by Barbara Mitchell. Iolanthe was played by Patricia Routledge. Celia was sung by Sylvia Eves and spoken by Polly Murch. Flater was played by Pamela Binns, and Phyllis was sung by Ellen Dales and spoken by Pinky Johnston. The fairies and members of the House of Lords were the John McCarthy Singers, and you also heard the BBC Concert Orchestra leader Arthur Levins. The performance was conducted by Stanford Robinson and produced by Michael Moores and Peter Bryant.